Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So we have a Yamaha APX600. I have had one of these before on the channel in a natural top, but when you start messing around with paint and then a coating as opposed to natural bare wood and then a coating, it does alter the sound of the guitar a little bit. Okay, so they are kind of the same guitar, but they are different in sound. They also have these things in like Oriental Blue, Vintage White, and an antique violin kind of burst. They also have two of them with flame maple top designs. One all maple, right? The other one has like a black border kind of thing. Those two cost $529.99 Canadian, where the other five are all $469.99 Canadian. And of course, like I said, they're all the exact same guitar otherwise. Same dimensions, same nice sick low action on these things, which is perfect for beginners, but also for anybody. I mean, this is a guitar that you're going to have for years and years and years. You could play this thing live, tour with it if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. I mean, the thing can handle some torture, okay? Man, I've seen professionals playing Squires on stage for electric guitars, and they're cheap. So, yeah, do the math. It's not so much about the guitar; it's the player and how well their guitar is also set up too. But you know, anyhow, so I'm not that great at righty still, but I'm getting much better. And to keep the story shorter, the bottom line is I needed a guitar because I'm playing next week at a church barbecue that we got going on, and we're doing music. And because it is still summer, if it turns out to be a hot, humid day, that would definitely wreck one of my good Martins. That's not a happening thing. I'm not chancing them. So I needed something more affordable, cheaper. Preferred a lefty, but unfortunately, everything left-handed Long McQuaid had in the store was actually all my lefties that I recently turned in because life hit me in the face once again. Darn it. So I'm slowly getting some things back in order, but I'm not going nuts this time. But the only other option I had for a lefty was actually a black Ibanez that acclaimed Sound and Music, and for the same money actually. A little bit thicker body and stuff, but fantastic guitar though. I was quite impressed with it, but I didn't also want to break the bank, so I need to still survive for the rest of the month, you know, till the next pay comes around deal, right? And so at least with Long McQuaid, it's easy to finance stuff there and, you know, put a little bit of money down and away you go. And they gave me a discount on this one because it has a little tiny divot that ended up there. We don't know how. Let me see if I can get the right. Well, you should be able to see it right about there. You can see that little divot just doesn't. It looks out of place, right? Anyways, that was there, and I thought, well, hey, it's not perfect, so I prefer to put my own dings in guitars. Can you give me some money off? And they gave me about 20 or 25 bucks off the guitar, and I thought, all right, that's acceptable, and it's the only problem with the whole thing, but it's not actually a problem. It's just it shouldn't be there, right? I mean, I've never bought a guitar before that had that on there, and you know, so it's kind of like, well, I don't know. I mean, so I'll buy it. And right-handed, I can play, and we're doing country gospel. So that means, you know, cowboy chords and capo is going to be used off and on for changing certain keys around. I can handle that on right-handed very easily. I've played in church right-handed before, and because I'm notorious for injuring this hand at work, my normal fretting hand. And so yeah, that's another encouragement for me to play righty. Other than the fact that not many people in the world can actually play both ways even competently, so you know, it's kind of like, well, I want to do both, but I know I'll never be as good right-handed as lefty, and that's fine with me, as long as I can get by, do my stuff, and I'm happy, right? So I got a lot of practicing in the next 5 days. I've been at it for about 5 hours so far this morning, and still going. Still not dying of finger pain yet. Getting close though. So I'm going to face toward the mic. So I'm a little off on the camera here, but you can get the sound projection that way, and then we'll flip around and go away from the mic, and you can hear also a sound difference that way too. Okay, let's face away from the mic now. Sorry. So I definitely have a lot of practicing to do in the next 5 days to get ready for this thing. I'm really hoping that the weather is not going to be so hot and humid, and I could take Martin out with me instead because, yeah, the only other two acoustics I own are both Martins, and yeah, they're left-handed, which is fabulous. But this is my righty because, yeah, the lefty option just wasn't there for the price range that I also wanted to spend on. And, of course, like I said, I didn't want to break the bank at a claim, so it's kind of like, well, nice guitar, but yeah, no financing option there. So I'd rather just see what I can do. And this was basically the same price, but at least I was able to finance it, and that worked, and super cheap payments, and I get to survive to the end of the month, right? So, yeah, I like it. So, anyways, there are some things, of course, obviously, that are always going to creep up or are there already. We do have a ding, but I am not counting that whatsoever. It's just something that happened. Generally, you don't see any of this damage. This was a first ever. But I am changing from the plastic pins to Tusk for now. I will eventually go brass pins because I'm going to eventually go gold tuners on this thing. Out of every right-handed guitar I've had, the APX600 seems to be the one for right-handed that actually fits me the best and I can control the best. I've had different size shapes of, acoustics before. I've even had right-handed electrics, but I never really did much with them. But the acoustic, I do play acoustic a lot more than electric, but you got to have a guitar that you're comfortable with, it fits you correctly. And this one is actually the ultimate best fitting guitar ever that I've come across. So, and I got a thing too for thin lines. I like the thinner body. So this really helps me with being able to play better too. I thought the GS Mini was nice, and it was, believe me, but this is even nicer than the Mini, And, but I also wasn't going to spend $1,000 again, so not on right-handed. And I wasn't going to buy, a left-handed one either, so, but I wanted something inexpensive, and this is all they had that was in stock. To wait for something to come in and hopefully it shows up on the Tuesday truck was not an option for me, because it's like I have no guarantee it's going to show. I'm playing Thursday, and there's no way I'm going to play if I'm stuck with a Martin in high heat and humidity, so I would have had to say, sorry guys, not playing, not risking my expensive guitars. In this case, I have an option. If it still end up that it is going to be a high humid day, cowboy chords and capo on and off, yeah, I can do that, no problem with this. I just got to spend a few days to break the fingers back in and the wrist. But, I'll be fine if I end up just playing this, and I'm okay with that. But if the weather does turn for the better, I'm pulling out the Martin, man, because at least this way I know my chances of messing up are like minimal compared to this. I know I'm probably going to make some boo-boos. But no matter which way I play directional, I know how to hide my boo-boos when they do creep up. So, I can feel it coming if it's going to happen. So I can hide it pretty good. So, but anyways, tuners are fine on this thing. They're not high-end tuners by any means. They're probably a 14-to-1. I don't know. We'll have to, do the round and round, the rosy check when I change the strings one of these days. But these strings are going to last me for quite a while. They're likely 14-to-1. For an under $1,000 guitar, likely 14-to-1 anyways. But you can check the specs online at Yamaha. If you go to Yamaha's website, just type in the APX600, and you'll find all the specs on the guitar for everything. These apparently do have a solid top, but they are laminated back and sides, which back and sides don't make any difference. That's a whole other video though. Very nice narrow neck. So if you want something with a very nice narrow neck and a slim neck too, this is it. This is really, really nice, okay? And usually acoustics have much higher action. This is really super low, you know, so I wish my Martins were actually this low. But if I buzz or I had a dead spot, that's on me. This is not the guitar. I've been through every single string, every single fret, and there are no flaws with the fretwork anywhere on this thing. Has just a minor amount of relief. There's about 7/8 thousandths relief in the neck, which is minor, and that's good. So, you know, that's fantastic. But yeah, I can really appreciate Yamahas because they're great for beginner, intermediate players, pro players, whatever. We do have a battery compartment here for 2 AA's, volume-based mid-treble, AMF mid-frequency sweep. The tuner is perfect on this thing. It works absolutely great. You know, you get jack in from here. You got binding everywhere. The only multi-layer binding is actually just on the top. Everything else is just all solid cream binding. You do have a little spot here on the heel where the strap pin is. That's got a little cream binding plate there. The only complaint I really have on this guitar, to be honest, is actually where they locate the strap pin. Because when you go to stand up and play, you know, you are actually forced to pull this back in because otherwise it wants to go this way on you, right? Had they put the strap pin down in here, it wouldn't be an issue, right? So this does kind of make it a little bit tenser to play standing, but I play sitting anyways because I have a bad back. So for me, it's going to be a non-effective thing, but for you, you might want to actually have them, you know, relocate the strap pin about in this area in the heel. You know, that's actually a good spot for it, and it's going to be a lot better, and it's not going to interfere with you getting up to higher frets either. You know, and of course, I love cutaway guitars. I'm a huge sucker for cutaways. I love the sound of them, and I've played guitars that are made exactly the same except one's a cutaway, one's not, and yeah, the sound of the cutaway, I just prefer it myself personally. That's the first time I hit the B minor in a while, pretty good. So, if this is a guitar that you think is going to work for you, try one out, because to hear me give you all the glory on this thing and tell you how great of a guitar it is, which it is pretty great, I got to admit, doesn't matter. You need to try it out for yourself. So go to a music store that sells Yamaha, see if they got one of these on the wall, and, you know, try one out. It doesn't matter if you don't like the color of the one that's on the wall. You've got 5 choices you can order in at the $469 range in Canadian dollars, that is. Okay, US, it's going to be cheaper, obviously, other countries. Or if you really love the flame maple top look, in Canada, they're $529. So in the US, definitely much less, right? Because our dollar sucks in Canada right now. But find out what suits you. Because if you like the guitar and you like how it feels and everything, just remember, slight tonal difference will happen even between black painted, white painted, whatever, the Oriental blue, and it depends on how thick, you know, the paint was put on as well. But there is going to be a slight tonal difference. But if you want that more natural sound of a glossy top, well, then you go for the natural topped one. Obviously, it's kind of a no-brainer. And if you like a really stiff sound, that's where flame maple comes in, because maple is an extremely rigid, stiff wood, also heavy too. So you will find that the flame maple topped versions of these are a little bit heavier than the spruce top. So, but it's all in what you like, right? Bottom line. And if you like it, then I'd say definitely buy it. go play live with it, play in your bedroom, do whatever, who cares. The guitar is suitable for anything, really, and it is a modern type player too, even for the sound of it. As opposed to, Martins are more the older folker, bluesy, kind of, what do you call it, bluegrassy kind of tone, right? These are more of the modern style players for sound and whatnot. Kind of like Taylors, without the Taylor price tag, or the Taylor lousy frets. There are drawbacks to Taylors, and I will talk about that in another video. Anyways, not allowed to play riffs exactly the way they are. But, so yeah, great guitar. Check one out yourself. If you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, find something else that you like. And check out other guitars on my channel. You can type in titles like, Yamaha, obviously, Fender, Gibson, Taylor, Martin, obviously. There's been a number of guitars go through here, and whatnot. But I say check one out. I like it, and you might too. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.